if I were to ever use it, I feel like I'd get in a lot of trouble. So one of my favorite cars is the E92 M3, just because it embodies some of the most important sports car characteristics: hydraulic steering, high revving naturally aspirated V8, and a great platform that takes very well to modifications. It's very easy to make the cars sound absolutely fantastic with an exhaust, and just to make them incredibly enjoyable. I find that if I have one, I end up selling it. I'll go buy something else and I'll go, no, and I'll go back. So this most recent one that we've turned into the full safety car is it's 2008 that I bought from Milwaukee. And anytime I go buy a car, whether it's the M2 that I bought here in Atlanta and drove home, I always like to buy cars and then road trip them home, because you get a good feel of what the car needs, or you get to build some great stories along the way. So this car I bought in Milwaukee, and we made I think it was about 15 hours to get it home. And I bought it from an ex-police officer who was in Milwaukee. And he had said that he'd had the car for some time, and it was kind of in rough shape, and that he was looking to move it because he was going to go and buy a new house. So I ended up buying the car for an incredible deal. He was asking $20, and I was actually at a track event when I saw the car pop up on Facebook Marketplace. And so, as you would say, he was a shrewd negotiator. So I offered him $15,500, and he kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit, but we settled right in the middle at $15,500. So I end up flying out there, I buy the car, and we road trip it back. And as I love these cars, there are some monster in the closet type issues. You've got the rod bearings, the throttle actuators, and other things that could potentially render the car completely useless. So fortunately, this guy had all the documentation that those things had already been completed. So I bought the car, and it was in tough shape. Bumper scratch, the headliner was chunking and like coming down as we were driving all the way home. So we stopped in New Jersey at M Parts Worldwide. We got a headliner put in the car, and we got some other miscellaneous bits and pieces to just freshen up the interior. And then I spent about the 3-month process of building this car into the safety car. And the big thing that I've always stood for was, when building these safety cars, we've done the M2, and since we've done this E92 M3, I want to do everything myself, because the initial quote that I got to do the lights and sirens on the M3 was $10,000. And so a friend of mine from university, we CNC'd the light bar brackets. We put a 50-inch 8 LED, like a tow truck bar across the top. We have everything on quick disconnects. We hid all the wires and had it completely integrated, so it looks like completely OEM. As if BMW had sold you a safety car, this is what it would look like. So it has the light cluster, it has your power, front and rear lights, takedowns, and your alley lights and everything. And it also has a full siren suite as well. So the siren box is in the trunk, and it has dual speakers in the front, and you can do your PA for your announcing. It also has sirens and all the other stuff. And I make sure that I don't use that on the road, because if I were to ever use it, I feel like I'd get in a lot of trouble. So that's a fun car show piece. But with these cars, I've always loved the sound. I'm a big manual enthusiast. All the M3s that I've had have always been manual. And I went to the M2 for a little bit, and it was lacking some passion, didn't have the hydraulic steering. So I've had, the 3 of these at this point. And this car, I said to myself, I want to make it so that I never sell this car. So we did a set of Apex wheels. They're 18s. We did a big brake kit, coilovers from Bilstein, and just the whole suite on the car, because I told myself, this is my 3rd one. I'm gonna put myself in a position where I should probably just never sell this car. And another thing that it has is our full exhaust. It features something I'm very proud of, which is our anodized gold finish. So underneath the car, the entire system is gold. And that was a big thing for us, is I wanted to separate us from a lot of the other companies out there, and just to show that Valvetronic was trying to offer something that was unique and special. And we've sold them to various enthusiasts around the world, but that car was just a big staple for us about what Valvetronic stands for. And we go to a lot of events, and if anybody ever says, hey, why don't you go do that drift course, or go do this or slide this corner or let's see how it sounds. It always just makes me super proud to have that car in the family, and it is something that I will definitely never sell. I bought the car knowing that I was gonna have it for a long time, and it was such a good deal that I figured, whatever I wanted to do, whether I wanted to build it into a safety car, I had never had any intentions. When I first bought the car is gray. And what I wanted to do was the Innositech dark green metallic wrap. And then I wanted to do a full tan interior. I wanted to do Recaro pole positions in leather, in tan, and do the whole interior in tan. So it would be the green over tan theme, which I loved. But I got to a point where I was like, this is probably not the best, utilization of this car for the business purposes. So I got the car pretty much all set up with the big brake kit and everything, and it had our normal, had the M tricolor stickers on it. And I decided, I've never done a full livery on a car before. I've done the BMW M2, like the MotoGP replica car, and that had all the stickers and everything on it, but it was never our own unique design. So I worked with the guys at Carrera Design to do a lot of Porsche liveries and for race cars, and we designed a really badass wrap. We had it installed, and it was something that was very unique to us, and I was very proud to, this was not a copy of anything else that we just happened to change the logos out. This was totally our own design. And when it was done, I stood in front of the car for a bit, and I was like, I can never sell this car now. This one will be with me for a very long while. That and the Miata will probably never leave the garage. After the car was fully finished and we had everything done to it, I would ship it around to as many places I could go to, but that car really got us started with the relationship with Savage Garage that we have with going to the rallies, and we're sponsoring all of this year's rallies. So if I go and get another car, I'll bring it as well, but the M3 will always be our rally car. It's a horrendous rally car because it gets just the most vile gas mileage. I can go maybe 150 miles per gas tank, but we do a lot of promotional events, any car show or any small thing that we get the opportunity to go to. I love pulling in with all the lights and sirens on, and everybody's like, "What is this?" So it's been a fabulous car to own for now, and keep it for the foreseeable future.